Welcome, yogis, to your back opening class. Come and join me at the top of the mat as soon as you're ready. We'll begin with the feet hip distance apart, but as always, closing down the eyes first, connecting to the awareness of our bodies, of our breathing. And we clarify and set an intention, and maybe the question to ask, to ponder is, why are you here? It could be a very simple, why did you step upon your mat? Why are you pursuing the path of yoga? And what is your intention for this practice? Maybe for this day, maybe even for this lifetime. And with that intention clearly established, and sometimes it's not clear, and that's okay too. My intention can be just to move and breathe mindfully through this hour. When you are ready, please sound the mantra of Om to charge your intention. Take a deep breath in. Om. Releasing your hands, opening your eyes. And once again, just establish your feet hip distance, please. On the inhalation, let your hands rise. Let's interlace our fingers, press our palms to ceiling. And it's dependent on your shoulder range of motion how far we take those arms overhead. Notice if the chin's poking forward, and just retract the chin, and that might require a little more softness in your elbows. Feel the foundation of the feet, the lift of the pelvic floor, the scooping of your lower belly, and maybe the tailbone just slightly coming under as we lengthen and open through the sides of the body for a moment. Take one more deep breath in, maybe even looking to your hands. And on your exhalation, I'd like for you to bend your knees and reach your hands forward. Please deliberately tuck the chin, press the hands away, scoop the belly, and create a little bit more flexion through your spine. Taking one more full breath into the back body. And when you are ready, spinal roll your way up to standing on the inhalation before exhaling and coming to the tops of the knees for support. We slide the hands down as far as our lower back will allow, as far as our hamstrings will allow. And I'll invite you to take a hold of the back of your legs as we tuck the chin and find a little bit more length through our spine, through our hamstrings. Bend the knees as much as you need. And then deliberately lengthen and soften through your neck. Maybe shaking the head no for a moment. And then coming back into agreement with a nod of a yes. Please stay for one more breath, coming into stillness. On your inhalation, please ground your hands just to the top of the mat. Got a little leaf on my mat. And then spin the toes out, coming into your version of Malasana. Hindi squat, so it may be with the elbow supporting you. You might find that you can dip in that little bit deeper. But just pausing here, please, with your hands in prayer. Unless, of course, you need that support, and hands will come to the floor if you do. Finding length in your spine regardless. Finding a pressing of the knees wide towards the pinky toe. Possibly lifting the chin, opening through the throat, and breathing fully and deeply here. So the inhalation is called prana, pranic, and our exhalation, aponic. The inhalation lengthens, lifts, and the exhalation, the aponic, grounds us. Please take one more full round of breath in and out. I'll invite you to ground your hands, lift your hips just a little bit, step your right foot back to a high plank, and then your left. And then just bring it back again. Right foot to the outside, pinky toe, and coming to second side, hands to heart. And we'll just press all the way up to standing, realigning the feet parallel to your mat. One more time, circle and sweep. Interlace your fingers, press your palms to the ceiling. Look up, find the maximal length through the side of the body, through the back body. And on your exhalation, bend the knees, tuck the chin, reach the hands forward and exaggerate the scooping of the tailbone, the tucking of the chin. One more full round of breath in and out. On the inhale, reach, rise. And on the exhalation, bend the knees, catch the top of the thighs for support. Slide your way down again, holding the back of the calves a second time. Or, if available, cup the back of the heels. Tuck the chin. It'll feel like you're standing on the tips of your toes. Use the strength of the arms to pull you just a little bit deeper. Never forcing the body. Just really softly easing your way in. Last 2 breaths. One more smooth, deep breath in and out. You'll need to gently release the hands, bring them to the top of the mat, spinning the toes out and coming into your malasana a second time. So grounding through the hands, of course. And if you're on the tips of the toes because of a little bit of stiffness in your ankles, you'll absolutely need to keep your hands on the earth. Let's just take one more breath here before we ground the hands and step back with your left foot first, then the right, and then just simply bring it back to the top. Squat low, squat deep, and then pressing through the legs, coming all the way up. And let's bring our feet together with the big toes touching, preparing to build our flow. Utkatasana, come low, come deep as you take a breath in. On the exhalation, down the midline of the body, lift your hips, release your head, look to your knees. Breathe in, hands to shins or fingertips to floor, look forward before stepping or hopping and lowering on your knees or toes through your chaturanga, eyes forward, please. Take a baby cobra or an up dog if you feel ready, and then lifting your hips high to downward facing dog. We're going to lift the right leg, but we're keeping the pelvis level so that we're strengthening through back body. And at the same time, you'll feel this really lovely opening through your left hamstring. Press really firmly into the hands to send the energy back. Feel the leveling of the pelvis. It's sometimes hard to tell. And your best kung fu foot on the right, please. Just one more deep breath in and out. On the inhalation, lift to the tips of the toes. Look forward. Step your right foot all the way through and release your back knee. Coming into a half Hanumanasana, so just a hamstring stretch. We do this by just shifting the weight back, picking up through the toes. And the body will desperately want to bow forward into this. I'm going to encourage you to keep your heart lifted, your head lifted. And please deliberately draw your right hip back, your left hip forward. It'll feel like you're pressing your heel down and trying to drag that leg back, but it's not going to go anywhere. It just gives us a little bit more sensation to enjoy in the back of the right leg. There's one more breath. When you're ready, take your time, just ground the foot, shift the weight forward, stack the knee over the ankle, and then please reach the fingertips off the floor, sending them towards the top of your mat. There's one straight line from the fingertip to the base of your spine, but you'll notice that the belly will want to let go. So please deliberately cultivate the lift of pelvic floor, Mula Bandha, the lift of lower belly, Uddiyana Bandha, and take one more full deep breath in and out. On the inhale, rising, stack the shoulders over the hips. On the exhalation, pull the elbows down, open the front chest. Inhaling to reach and lift. Exhaling just to open up, stretch across. One more time, reaching high before grounding the hands, framing the foot. Lift the back knee, and all we need to do is step to the top of the mat. Take a breath in and exhaling to bow. Bend your knees, take your seat into Utkatasana, and standing tall on the out breath to Samastitihi. Second side. Coming low, sweep the arms, press the palms. Down the midline of the body, lift your hips, release your head, look to your knees. Breathe in, hands to shins, fingertips to floor, extension. Before stepping or hopping, lowering knees or toes through chaturanga. Flip the toes or slide through as you come into up dog and propelling hips high, downward facing dog. It's your left leg that's rising. The pelvis is staying level. So really deliberately square the hips, press energetically back through the hands, and send the energy through your left heel. Kung Fu foot as we energize the whole back body. Take one more full round of breath in and out. On your inhalation, tips of the right toes, stepping all the way through. Give yourself a hand if you get stuck. Land the knee and immediately shift the weight back to come into that really lovely half Hanumanasana, half split, or a hamstring stretch. The toes are up, the heart is lifted, the spine is long, the breath is deep, and we're drawing back through the left hip to square the pelvis to bring a little bit more length into the back of our left leg. Last 2 breaths. One more full deep breath in. And on the exhalation, grounding, shifting the weight forward. Get a little bit of lightness through the hands, testing the core. And when it feels right for you, sending those arms forward. So a long lever, a little bit more dangerous. So of course, by all means, hands can stay on the floor or to the thigh. Exaggerating the length from the fingertip to the base of your spine. Taking one more full round of breath in and out. As we breathe in, reach high, stack the shoulders over the hip over the knee. A breath reaches the tips of the fingers as we breathe in, and on the exhalation, pull and open. Inhaling to reach high. As you pull back, can you feel the muscles at the base of the shoulder blades and between the shoulder blades? On this last one, we reach, we land the hands to frame the foot, lift the back knee. Inhale to step to the top of the mat, feet together and lengthen before exhaling into our forward fold. Bend your knees, take your seat to chair pose. And standing tall as the breath comes away, Samastitihi. So always taking those modifications as we move through practice, as we build on top of our flow, on top of our sequence. Breathe in, hands to shins, fingertips to floor, look forward before stepping or hopping. Shift forward, elbows tight, chaturanga. Baby cobra, upward facing dog. Releasing up and back, downward facing dog. Right leg rises just for a breath, keeping the pelvis level. Lift to the tips of the toes, stepping all the way through between the hands. That hamstring stretch is remaining, but we're keeping the back knee lifted, lengthening as much as we can through the front leg. So the back heel is lifted, and now lift through the front toes to just exaggerate that lovely sensation. Draw your right hip back, left hip forward, and keep the head lifted, the spine long as we take one more full breath in. On your exhalation, bend this front knee really deeply. Get light through your fingertips again. And then reaching from the fingertips to the heel. Notice your back leg, make it a little straighter, a little stronger. As we take one more full breath in. And out. On the inhalation, we rise, stack shoulder over hip, hip over knee, square the pelvis. Take a breath in and lengthen. On the exhalation, once again, we're just opening through the front, strengthening through the back. Inhale, lengthen through the front leg without locking it. Exhale to bend, to descend as deeply as you wish. This is your last one. Stay high as you do so. And then please shorten the stance, widen the stance before sweeping the arms behind you, catching the opposing elbow or wrist. Once you're there, square the hips, square the shoulders. Notice the back foot is slightly turned out. And as we breathe in, we open front body. As we exhale, we maintain the length of the legs and the front body. So just coming into a modified pyramid pose with the hands behind us. If it feels good, keep parallel to the floor, gazing to the big toe. If there's a bit more space, you're welcome to bow the chin towards the shin. And now you're gazing towards your back foot. Keep looping the shoulders away from your ears as you take one more. Full, deep, mindful breath in and out. On the inhalation, please lift your head if you're not already there. As we exhale, we soften into our right knee. Your left hand will find that thigh, the shin, or the foot, and we begin to lengthen once again to come into what's called revolve trikonasana, revolve triangle pose. If the foot allows, and there's a bit more space, we're taking the pinky finger to the pinky toe side. Everyone, regardless, rolls open, spinning the chest towards the thigh, only gazing skywards if the balance will allow, and perhaps reaching your right hand up as well. If the sun is in your eyes, you might choose to look down instead as we stay for one more full breath in. On the out breath, look down if you are not already. Bend that front knee really deeply, and then windmill the arms to open to Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. So find your heel to arch alignment, finding that levelness from fingertip to fingertip. And I'm going to keep my back to you for a moment. Please forgive me. When you're ready, push out of that leg. This is goddess stance. So you flick your toes out and you take a seat into goddess stance. Please, as we did at the beginning, interlace your fingers, press your palms to the ceiling, and then sink as deep, as low as it feels good to you. We're only here for a moment, so stay for one more deep breath in and out. On the inhalation, rise, reset for your Warrior 2, and flip the palm, coming to your Sun Warrior. A windmill of the arms, a frame of the foot. We pause right here, landing the knees into 4-point kneeling. Please slide your right hand forward, your left leg back. Square the shoulders, square the hips, and then picking up. Notice the dumping of the belly. For most of us, the hips want to collapse. And you'll find that your left hip keeps lifting. So just squaring it once again. Kung Fu foot out the back as we take a breath in. And on the exhalation, tucking in and pausing. Inhale to strengthen back body. Exhale to open back body. Inhaling, finding length from fingertip to heel. And this is your last one. Scoop in, tuck, pause, hold. Grounding through the hands. Taking a moment to reestablish your high plank. But we're lowering all the way down to the earth, please. Shalabhasana, just a modified Shalabhasana, locust pose. So you're touching your thumbs to your thighs. Your palms are to the ceiling. And then your toes are going to stay tucked as you lift your shoulders away from the floor. You lift your heart, you lift your chin. Please think about energizing your legs so much. Your knees lift off of the earth, but the awareness of the extension, the strengthening into back body, is coming more so into our glutes, our core, and of course, our paraspinals are working every muscle in back body, assisting us here. There's just one more breath in. And on the exhalation, please release your feet, release your hand directly underneath your shoulders. Take an upward facing dog before releasing up and back, downward facing dog. One full deep breath in. On your exhalation, bend the knees. Step your right foot to the right hand. Step your left foot to your left hand. And come back to your Malasana, please. Right hand to the floor. Left hand high and wide. Focus on opening through the back of the pelvis as you spread your wings wide. One more full deep breath in. On the exhalation, ground your hands, please. Bring them to prayer. Power all the way up to standing. Heel toe, do-si-do, your feet together. And releasing the hands. Come low, second side. Sweep the hands, press your palms. Down the midline of the body. Lift the hips, release the head last. Breathe in, hands to shins, fingertips to floor extension. Before stepping or hopping, lowering straight or strong on knees or toes. Baby Cobra, upward facing dog. Releasing up and back, Downward facing dog. Left leg is ready, let it rise. We're just here for a breath. On the inhalation, tips of the toes stepping all the way through. Shift the weight back, coming into that hamstring stretch. Lifting through the toes, lifting through the head, lifting through the heart. To the best of your ability, draw your left hip back, right hip forward. And how much can you energize the quadricep to bring a little bit more length to the hamstring? One more full deep breath in. On your exhalation, ground the foot, bend the knee, pausing here. Test the waters, lift the hands, see how stable you feel. And if you feel safe, reaching those hands all the way overhead. Eye gaze to the big toe. Feel the lift of the core. Feel the depth of your breath as you take one more full deep breath in and out. We bend the back knee, we rise, stacking shoulder over hip, hip over knee. Level the pelvis, pause. Inhale to lengthen front leg without locking. On the out breath, strengthen the back body. Inhale, energizing from fingertip to toe. Descending, how deep will you go? Last time to pause, reach before we shorten the stance. Widen the stance, checking the toes are slightly turned out before circling the arms down and around. Catch the wrist, catch the elbow, and then square the hips, square the shoulders. Open through front body as you breathe in. And then ease yourself forward as you breathe out. Gazing to the big toe, if we're keeping our heart parallel to the earth, or drawing that little bit deeper, chin towards the shin. Please draw your left hip back, right hip forward. Keep looping the shoulders away from the ears as we take one more full, deep, mindful breath in and out. On the in-breath, if you're not already parallel to the floor, come there, bend the knee slightly. Right hand sliding to your thigh, your shin, your foot, or the pinky toe side. Begin to lengthen through your left leg without locking it. Begin to turn your chest towards the thigh. And please draw your left hip back, right hip forward. Only sending your left arm high if the balance will allow. Only turning to look to the side, to the ceiling, to the thumb, if balance and neck will allow. Just take one more full deep breath in. On your exhalation, we look down, bend deeply into that knee, and simply rise to Virabhadrasana 2. So finding heel to heel alignment, sending your wings wide, sinking into that front knee, gazing down the middle fingernail. Your dristi is the middle fingernail on the front hand. Just one more breath in and out. As we come back up, we turn the toes out, the heels in. We take a seat into goddess stance as we send the hands high. Also called horse stance. Please sink low, and on the second round, tucking the chin, rounding through the back, pressing the palms forward as we keep encouraging the knees to the pinky toe side. One more full deep breath in and out. On the in-breath, all the way back up to ceiling, realign the feet before you move into your warrior 2. Flip the palm. Sun warrior on the in-breath. Your best cartwheel arms on the out-breath. Slide to your high plank. Land your knees, please. Left hand forward, right leg back. Nothing more needs to happen. If it feels available, lifting as we take a breath in. And on the exhalation, scooping in, tucking the chin, pause. How far could you stretch while keeping the pelvis level? And then scoop in, really exaggerate the contraction through the core. One more time, reaching, 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 pause before releasing the hands to the earth. Come back to your high plank, lower all the way to your belly for Shalabhasana B. So once again, feet hip distance, the hands slide to the base of the rib cage. We tuck the toes, energize the legs, and then loop the shoulders up and back, squeeze the elbows in, and lift the chin if your neck will allow. Our neck is meant to be able to extend, okay? Press your hands into the earth so it sends you forward, and keep lifting deliberately through the knees, through the belly, while trying to breathe as you lay on your abdominals. Just one more breath in and out. We'll release the toes, hands directly underneath your shoulders. Power up into your upward facing dog before releasing up and back, downward facing dog. Left foot to the pinky finger, right foot to the pinky finger, and then sitting up into your version of Malasana. Left hand down, right hand high. This left knee will want to buckle in. Please keep using your left shoulder to encourage it wide. And then gazing down the length of your right arm. Take one more full breath in. And on the exhalation, return the hands to prayer. See if you can stand up without using the hands on the legs. And then heel toe the feet back together to Samastitihi. This is your last time through your flow. Inhale, sinking into the depth of the legs. On the exhalation, down the midline, lift your hips, release your head. Breathe in, show me the longest arms, legs, and spines. Before stepping or hopping, eyes forward, belly strong. Energize the body, the legs, the core, the glutes, before releasing up and back, downward facing dog. Your right leg is rising. Listen, you're walking your hands back towards your left foot, and then you are just staying with a level pelvis, a bowed head, with both hands on the earth. Variation 2, you're welcome to take your left hand to your left calf, and use the strength of that arm to draw you just a little bit deeper as you use the strength of your glutes on that right hip to lift the leg a little bit higher. Hamstrings assisting. One more breath in. Beautiful. Before you release that hand to the earth, walk forward back to your three-legged dog. Set up, pause, and then breathe into the tips of the toes. Step all the way through. Shift the weight back, coming into our hamstring stretch. But last variation, roll the toes open. Again, keep the heart lifted. Keep drawing the right hip back, left hip forward. Taking one more full breath in and out. Please realign the toes, release the foot, bend the knee. Test the waters once you're ready by lifting the fingertips, and then send them high. From the fingertip to the heel, energizing the back body for one more breath. Before we bend the knee and rise up, stacking shoulder, hip, hip, and knee. Inhale to lengthen front leg. Exhale, pull the elbows down, squeeze between the shoulder blades. Inhale, lengthen to your maximal height. How low do you want to go on this lunge? This is your last one. Pausing, please, at the top. Shorten your stance, widen your stance, sweep your arms, catching your forearm or your elbow. Square the hips, square the shoulders. Take a breath into front body before moving into pyramid pose. Parallel to the floor or diving that little bit deeper. Drawing the right hip back, left hip forward. Energize your feet, your legs, your core. Take one more breath in and out. On the inhalation, parallel to the floor, bend the front knee slightly. Slide your left hand to the thigh, the shin, the foot, or the pinky toe side. Begin to lengthen without locking. Begin to revolve, reaching high with the right hand if it feels good to your shoulder, and spinning the eye gaze to look to the side or the top hand. As we stay and breathe. One more full deep breath in. On your exhalation, bend the knee, look down, rise to your warrior 2. We're just here for one deep breath in before rising to the long edge of the mat. Lace your fingers, press your palms, turn your toes out, flick your heels in, and then press the hands forward. Scoop the belly, tuck the chin, encourage the knees wide. One more full deep breath in and out. On the inhalation, we rise, we retrace our steps to that warrior two, flip the palm, sun warrior, before windmilling the arms and framing that foot. Slide to your high plank, land your knees, right hand forward, left leg back. Just one time to lift, to reach on the in-breath, one time to scoop in on the out-breath, and then grounding the hand, grounding the knee. Your toes are tucked, you're lifting up, and we're coming into a counterbalance pose, camel pose. So with the feet tucked, we've got a little bit more height to work with. We're going to squeeze the elbows back as we bring the hands to the top of the pelvis. Variation 1, energize your pelvic floor, your core, your glutes. Nothing more needs to happen. We're just staying tall. Variation 2, you'll press the pelvis forward, strengthening the back of the body as you open the front. And variation 3, we lean back, we search for our heels. Once we find them, we press the body forward, maybe looking forward or releasing the head. Strengthen the legs, strengthen your hamstrings, your glutes, your back as you open and breathe for 2. One more full breath in and out. To safely come up, hands to your hips, use your legs, your inner thigh, and then releasing back to the floor. Step to your high plank when you're ready. Take a breath in and lower all the way down to your abdominals, please. Shalabhasana, A, once again, but this time feet together, toes pointed. So the palms are to ceiling, the thumbs are touching the thighs, you're pressing down. Energize your legs, loop your shoulders, lift your heart, lift your chin. Maybe lift your feet. No need, but just an option to lift through the feet. Keep working the length of the body, don't worry about the height. As we take one more full breath in. On your exhalation, separate the feet. Land them, hands underneath your shoulders. And inhalation takes us to up dog. And exhalation to downward facing dog. Taking a breath in, you are either stepping your right foot behind the right wrist, or you'll bend your knees, pause, and you'll decide whether you might be able to just jump your way there. If it felt fun, jump back. Just do a couple of these little froggy hops if it feels delightful to your body. This is our last one. Everyone meets at the top of the mat in Malasana. So hands to the earth, hands in prayer, or the option of doing an arm balance or just the prep for your arm balance, crow pose, crane pose. So fingers are spreading wide, your best birdie feet. And then lifting your hips, please bring your feet in a little bit closer. And then from here, all we do is bend the knees and we begin to shift the weight forward so that the knees begin to touch the back of the arms. Your eyes must stay lifted. From here, maybe just one foot lifting for a couple breaths. We get to do this twice. So this is our prep side. And then lifting through that other leg, just the shift of the weight forward into the arms is more than enough. It's a scary pose, this one, and then release. Please bring your feet back to your Malasana if you're not still there. Pausing for one celebratory breath in and out. Ready to rise. Push out of your feet. Come all the way up to standing. Stepping the feet together to Samastitihi. This is your last time. Finishing our flow on second side. Coming low on the in-breath. Down the midline on the out-breath. Hips high, head low. Breathe in, hands to shins, fingertips to floor. How tall can you grow before stepping or hopping, moving through Chaturanga, straight and strong. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, Adha Mukha Svanasana. Left leg is rising. Pelvis is level, but remember we're walking the hands back towards our feet, keeping both hands grounded, keeping the pelvis as level as we can, but tucking the chin towards the shin. Variation 2, right hand, finding that calf, and using the strength of our arm, our core, and our glutes, hamstrings, to keep extending and lifting through the left leg. There's just one more breath here to explore. before gently releasing the hand to the earth. If you picked it up, keep the leg high, walk back to your three-legged dog. Set up for one full round of breath in and out. On the inhalation, tips of the right toes, stepping all the way through between the hands. Shift the weight back as you come into your modified pyramid pose. The toes lift, the heart lifts. We draw the left hip back, and now we roll the left foot slightly open. One more breath in. And on the exhalation, return the toe, return the foot, and bend the knee, please. Test the waters, hey? Just see how it's feeling. And as soon as you're ready, sending those arms overhead. One last time. We've got this. Fingertips alive. Feel the back body light up. One more deep breath in and out. We bend the knee, we rise, we stack shoulders, hips, knee. Stabilize. On the inhale, lengthen without locking. On the exhalation, open front body, strengthen back body. Inhale, finding lightness, length. On the exhalation, feel your strength. This is our last time to rise, to reach, to pause before stepping that foot wide, turning the toes slightly out, circling the arms, catching the opposing wrist or elbow. Square the hips, square the shoulders, open the front body as you breathe in. And then ease your way forward as you breathe out, stopping parallel or coming that little bit further. Regardless, we draw the left hip back, right hip forward. Our hamstrings will never be the same. So much more length than when we started. One more breath, please. It's the inhalation that brings you parallel to the floor. If you're not already there, bend the knees so you've got a little extra support before sliding your right hand to your thigh, your shin, foot, or pinky toe side. Lengthen through the left leg. Revolve through the torso. Draw the right hip back, left hip back, right hip forward, and send your left hand high. Maybe looking to the side, maybe looking to the palm of the top hand. Just one more full breath in. On the exhalation, look down, bend that knee deeply. Windmill your way into Virabhadrasana 2. We're here briefly. One full deep breath in. And out. Ready, rise. Spin the toes to the long edge. Flick the heels in, toes out. Press the palms, sinking in. Tuck the chin, tuck the tailbone. Press the palms forward, but notice the knees. Keep pushing them towards the pinky toe side. Just one more deep, deliberate breath in and out. Oh, rising feels good to release that posture before moving to Vir 2. Flip the palm, sun warrior, windmill the arms, frame the foot. We're so close. Slide back, land the knees. Left hand forward, right foot back. One breath in. On the exhalation, pause, squeeze in. Release the hand, release the knee, release the toes. Camel pose, second time. Feet flat or keep the toes tucked. Press the pelvis forward, squeeze the elbows in. You can stay here. Variation 2, a little bit more front body opening. And then you'll notice that the movement comes through the knees. So the strength of the quads in particular, searching for a heel. Press the pelvis forward, broaden the collarbones. Maybe release the head. Energize your hamstrings, your glutes, your back body so much that you feel supported. Taking one more full deep breath in and out. It's the inhalation that helps you up, catch the pelvis, or hands to prayer. Release the hands to the earth. Come to your high plank. And how slow can you lower all the way to the belly? Right about now, we just want to go Shalabhasana B. Hands to the bottom ribs, feet together, big toes touching, maybe heels touching. Loop the shoulders, lift the heart, lift the chin, maybe lift the feet, and perhaps keeping the big toes together. Press the hands forward to lengthen the underside of the body. Reach through the pinky toe side of your legs. Don't worry about the height. Be long, be long, be long. One more breath in. before releasing the feet, hands beneath the shoulder, upward facing dog on the inhale, downward facing dog on the exhale. It's your left foot stepping forward first, or those little preps. So we bend the knees, we lightly land. We hop back, we lightly land. So yoga should be joyful, just an exploration of movements as we play on our mats. Return to your version of Malasana, Hindi squat, and coming back into your arm balance if you feel safe. Challenging ourselves, but finding that place where we still feel in control. We lift the hips. We bring the feet in, lift to the tips of the toes. Start to bend the elbows just slightly so you can catch your knees on the back. And then shift the weight forward again. Maybe you're just picking up one foot. Perfect. Maybe you feel safe to pick up the second one. If you did, both big toes are searching for each other. Eye gaze steady as we stay for 2 more breaths. And then lightly land back into your Malasana, please. Rather than standing high, we are just going to take one last breath here before taking a graceful seat to the earth. Beautiful work. Take your legs long, please. Let go of your standing sequence. Give everything a shake. A celebration breath up. Bend your knees as much as you need. Peace fingers are ready to catch the big toes. Inhale, find the length of the legs, the length of the spine. And then exhale, tuck the chin and bow yourself in. Gazing now to the big toes and that focus of keeping the spine long. So on the inhalation, we deliberately lengthen through the spine. On the exhalation, we're thinking about drawing the toes back, maybe engaging the quadriceps, maybe engaging through pelvic floor a little bit more. So even though we're stationary, there's still this dynamic play of energy and work happening beneath the surface. Just one more breath in. And out. On the inhalation, lift your heads, your hearts. Exhaling to sit back, please. Tuck your right foot in. This is Janu Shirshasana A. Right foot can be anywhere that it feels good to your body. When you're ready, please energize your left foot to your left leg as you lengthen through your spine. And then on the exhalation, ease your way in as far as your body will allow. Might be the thigh, the shin, the ankle. You're welcome to hold your foot. And if you're binding here, it is your right hand holding the left wrist. Your drishti is your big toe, and you're deliberately rolling your right ribs towards your left inner thigh. And then notice your shoulders, especially your right shoulder, as we stay for 2 more breaths. One more full, deep breath in. And out. Ooh, that breeze feels good. On the inhalation, lift your head, lift your heart. As we come back out of this, we're coming into half Gomukhasana. So that means we thread the pinky toe side across the body. I'm going to turn sideways just for a moment so you can see. So the pinky toe lands on the mat, and it depends on how this is all feeling. You might tuck it all the way up towards the hip. We'll often notice that the left foot does funny things, so we want to energize through the left foot. And if you're feeling some fabulous sensation already, you'll take your hands behind you to support you. And just stay here. Option 2, holding the knee, gently encouraging yourself forward. And variation 3 again, the shin, the foot. If you're binding, right hand holds left wrist. You've got it. The drishti is our big toe. And there's a lot of sensation on the stretch. So wherever you are feeling this, just see if you can let go into it. Soften into it, sink into it, surrender into it for 2 more breaths. One more full deep breath in and out. On the inhalation, you'll lift your head, your heart. As we come out of this, we are moving towards the pinky toe side. So just taking a really gentle twist. Left hand anchoring you from behind, right hand supporting you as you look over your shoulder. So an open twist, a little bit kinder on the spine. And regardless of the focus of our class, we always want to incorporate some flexion, extension, lateral flexion, and rotation, balancing all of the elements: flexibility, strength, balance, endurance, stability. Take one more breath here. On your exhalation, return your eyes. On the out breath, release your twist. Bring both legs out in front, grounding into your toes. One more time for that hand position. Press your palms forward, lifting through your heart. Ease your way back. Variation 1 for Navasana, we stay here. Variation 2, picking up the feet, shins parallel to the ceiling. And variation 3, by taking the arms overhead, suddenly the lever is so much longer. A little bit of physics, right? We're just lengthening levers to bring more intensity to our posture. There is 3 more breaths to enjoy. The advanced option in yoga, of course, is to smile while you're doing Navasana. Take one more full deep breath in. And on the exhalation, release the feet, release the hand, giving anything a little reprieve, a little shake if you need. Left leg coming into Janu A. Square the shoulders, bend the knee as much as you need. Take a breath in to find the length of the spine before you ease yourself into your version of this posture. Hands on the thigh, the shin, the foot. A bind is taking left hand across the sole. Index finger and thumb are holding on to the right wrist. We are all gazing at our big toe, rolling our left ribs towards our right inner seam, leveling our shoulders. So that normally means you'll need to release a little bit more through the left. Breathe in, draw the nose a little bit closer to the toe, keep the heart lifted. Breathe out, strengthening through the quads, through the core, through the pelvic floor. One more breath, please. On the inhalation, we lift the head, the heart, and on the exhalation, sitting back, that half Gomukhasana, we thread the leg through until the pinky toe finds the floor, and it might be over there, it might be by the hip, it doesn't matter. But we'll use the hands first to energize and lift through the spine. Draw the toes back on the right foot, and if you're feeling lots of sensation, please just stay there. Option 2, hold the knee, pull yourself a little bit further. And variation 3, just move to the depth that your body will allow. Gazing to the big toe. And we use drishti not because our big toe is super fascinating, but because it helps to steady our eyes, which helps to steady our minds. And yoga, more than anything, is a practice dedicated to learning how to control our minds. Just one more breath here. On your inhalation, lift your head, lift your heart, reestablish your posture. Exhaling to come back and turning to that pinky toe side. So pressing into the knee, into the shin with your left hand, grounding through your right, and then please just gently looking over your right shoulder. The moment you turn your eyes, your right foot is going to want to do some funny things. We're not going to let that happen. We're going to draw the toes back, energize through the leg. Keep lengthening through the spine on the in-breath. Keep gently revolving on the out-breath as we take one more full breath in and out. On the inhalation, eyes first. On the exhalation, release the twist. Sadly, or maybe delightfully, we're doing Navasana once more. So please, feet to the floor. Interlace your fingers, press your palms. Ease your way back for variation 1. Variation 2, we're lengthening through those legs to parallel. Variation 3, arms are coming overhead. And final variation, maybe the legs are lengthening as well. Wherever you are, celebrating your efforts, feeling the length of the spine, feeling the strength of your core, and feeling your determination. Just take one more full breath in And on your exhalation, release your feet, release your hands, release your efforts. And please just hug underneath. Hold the opposing elbow. Tuck your chin. And really roll into the spinal opening. A little neural stretch. So find the space between your shoulder blades. Breathe into it. Keep pulling back against your legs to create a little bit more opening through the back of your body. Let's just take one more breath here. When you're ready, lift your heads, lift your hearts. We roll ourselves down to the floor. And as we come into our inversions, our back bends first, we're just using bridge pose because the focus is strengthening back body rather than opening front. So touch your heels to make sure that you've got equal alignment through your feet. And then please lift your head for a moment, checking that you've got hip and knee alignment. The knees often want to splay out in this posture, so just containing the energy of the inner thigh. And when you feel ready, please energize through your feet, your pelvic floor, and then begin to tuck your tailbone and lift up through the pelvis. Walk your hands underneath, interlace them, press your pinky fingers down, and deliberately reach your knuckles towards your feet. Please shift all the weight into your right foot and bring your left knee towards your chest or lengthen through your left leg. So press really strongly into the right foot. Feel your right hamstring, your right glute. And just staying here for another 3 breaths. Bent knee or straight leg, it doesn't matter. One more full breath in. On your exhalation, bend the knee first, ground the foot. Reestablish the height and the levelness of your pelvis. And then please shift the weight to your left foot. The moment you pick up the right foot, you might feel the hip drop, so just reestablish it. Knee bent or leg long. Reconnect to the pinky finger. Reconnect to your left foot, hamstring and glute. Reach energetically through your right toes. And stay for another 2 breaths, please. One more full deep breath in. And on the exhalation, bend the knee. Release the foot. Release the hands. And roll your way down 1 vertebra at a time. Please hug your knees into your hearts, taking that very gentle rock from side to side. Letting that back body open. When you are ready, you will ground through your right foot and you'll cross your left leg over for a reclining pigeon or a figure 4. If the hips are feeling quite tight today, we just keep the right foot on the earth and we hug the left knee towards the opposing shoulder. Variation 2, we pick up through the right. We thread through, holding on to our hamstring. Notice the feet are flexed, just creating a little bit more stability around the knee joint as we draw into this posture. And I'd like you to notice that your hip and your knees in one line. The way the body cheats is it drifts across. So draw in gently with your arms. Use your left elbow to press out slightly as far as it feels heavenly. Just mild, gentle stretch. Check the back of the head. So tuck your chin to lengthen your neck. Melt your shoulders. And take one more breath here. You will ground through your right foot. You'll snug your left leg in super tightly. Spread your wings wide. I'd like for you to shift your hips slightly to the left. And then let your knees come to the right any amount that your body allows. Looking to sky, ceiling, or turning to look all the way down the length of your left arm. Flood the breath into the left side of the torso, the left lung, the left hip, the left side of your lower back. Just make it feel good. Last 3. One more breath. your eyes return, your knees return, using your core, using your arms, and then uncross, hug tight for just a moment, rock gently for just a moment, before bringing the feet back to the earth, right foot crossing over the left. You know where to go. Restorative option of left foot staying on the earth. Variation 2, we flex the feet. We encourage the left knee towards the left shoulder, using the right elbow to gently, gently press that leg wide. Soften the head, lengthen the neck, melt the shoulders, and really deliberately let your back soften, your tailbone grow heavy. Last 2 breaths. And on the exhalation, releasing slowly, mindfully through your left foot. Snug your right leg in, spread your wings, palms to ceiling, hips to the right, knees gently moving to the left, gazing upwards or turning, please, to look down the length of your right arm. Deliberately softening through the shoulders, the face, as we open through the right side of the torso, the right lung, the right hip, the right side of our lower back. Last 2. Returning your eyes, returning your knees, uncross center, and your last posture, coming into your inversion. Just a happy baby pose, please. So knees to chest, separate the knees, standing on the ceiling, holding on to the back of the legs, the calves, or your feet. Chin in, neck long, shoulders completely surrendering. And inviting just a gentle, gentle, gentle rocking mobilization. Only if it feels good. 3 more breaths. 3 more gentle rocks from each side. Returning to your stillness. Hugging the knees to your heart, and then placing your feet on the earth and let your legs slide away into your Shavasana. If your back is sore at all, you'll bring your feet wide, your knees together, and that just helps to kind of deload the lower back. You're also welcome, of course, to use a bolster underneath the legs or to come to a seated position. Just find a position that you can allow yourself to completely rest. And this is the time of our practice when the work of the class, of the asanas, becomes integrated within our bodies. Closing down the eyes, connecting more fully with your breathing. Feeling the pranic energy of the in-breath, and really letting go and surrendering more on the aponic out-breath. Please stay as long as you wish in your Shavasana. So if you are able to stay longer, please do. If you need to come up and back into your day, we take a moment just to cultivate a deeper breath. And through this deepening of the breath, there's this expansion of the awareness. Expand the awareness and feel the outer edge of your skin. And then please bring mindful movement to your fingers, your toes, your wrists, your ankles, your hands, your feet. And then if it feels good, stretch your legs away, stretch your arms above you, interlace your fingers just as we have through practice. Press your palms, reach your legs, take one more breath in that full big body yawn. Before you slide your arms down, you'll bend your knees one at a time, hug your knees to your hearts, rocking gently before rolling to the right-hand side of the body. We linger there for a breath filled with gratitude for this day, for this body, for this practice, before rising to a seated position, please. Coming into Sukhasana, coming into a half lotus, coming into a full lotus, it doesn't matter. We feel the length of the spine, the lift of our hearts, and we bring our hands to prayer in Anjali Mudra. Reconnecting with your intention, your why, and then closing our practice with the sound of Om, sending our blessings out into this world. Take a deep breath in. Om. Namaste.